Sonic the Hedgehog, the TV series that focused on Sonic and a group of friends known as the Freedom Fighters, in a dark future where Robotnik had completely taken over Mobotropolis, debuted in 1993 and was cancelled in 1994 after only 2 short seasons. 5 years after, in 1999, it seemed as if the long-awaited Season 3 would finally come into fruition. Unfortunately, plans for Sonic the Hedgehog would yet again be scrapped, and the take on the dark future would head into an alternate direction. In Sonic Underground, Sonic is a prince born to a woman named Queen Aleena. When a character named Oracle warns her of a dire future, for his safety, not only does she have to give Sonic up, but his triplet brother and sister, Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonia the Hedgehog. Sonia can be found making an image cameo in Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, featured in her own fan-made hack titled The S Factor Sonia in Silver, where fans can play as her, Silver, or even the unlockable Scourge the Hedgehog. And for the comic book lovers, she also makes a one-time appearance in the Archie comic, Sonic Super Special, issue number 10. Also as an honorable mention, in the Sonic Archie storyline that takes place 25 years in the future, Sonic and Sally Acorn had a daughter named Sonia Acorn, who received her name from none other than Sonia the Hedgehog herself. Character-wise, however, Sonia's only 2 main appearance has only been exclusively to 1999's Sonic Underground. Just like her brothers, before Queen Aleena went into hiding, as a baby, she was left in the care of a person suitable enough to take care of her. The woman who was going to raise her was an upper-class aristocrat named Lady Windermere. Because of this upbringing, unlike her brothers, she got to experience a life of luxury, making her personality at times spoiled and high maintenance. It also includes snobby.
That's it! I've had it! I need a facial, I need a pedicure, and most of all, I need a massage.
However, she is the most acrobatic and physically the strongest of her brothers. She's not fast like Sonic, but she does share a similar spin attack. But just like both her brothers, when she decides to rock out, she does it through the power of her medallion. Sonia's medallion in particular is in the shape of a keyboard, and when she needs it as a weapon, it could come in 2 stages. One of those stages is the synthesizer keyboard, which can cause smoke screens to confuse enemies. It can also be used to fire off laser blasts. The second form is the keyboard rifle. In similar fashion to the keyboard synthesizer, it can also be used to fire off laser attacks as well as cause smoke screens. As far as Sonia's love life goes, amongst her brothers, she was the only one with any sort of love interests. As shown here in Sonic Underground episode titled The Last Resort, she had a one-time brief crush on Stripes. Prior to the first episode of the series, she was engaged to marry the stuck-up and cowardly Bottlebee, and Dingo, one of the trio's main enemies, developed a crush on her early in the series, to which the feelings are not mutual. But as seen in episode 29, Sonia's biggest love interest was Knuckles, showing concern for him when he went missing.
Wouldn't have surrendered without a fight. He could be hurt. Or worse.
The classic blushing, and the biggest payoff, holding hands and kissing them on the cheek. Are you guys ready to rock out with the next featured furry girl? Because we're heading back to Sonic Underground one more time to take a look at the fabulous Mindy LaTour. Mindy LaTour was an anthropomorphic fox who made a one-time appearance in The Price of Freedom. When Sonia gets fed up with being a hero and her brothers, she decides to race off for some personal time at LaTour Estate, where she meets her old friend Mindy. While inside the home of Mindy and her father, Mr. LaTour, Sonia tells them the reason that she came was for some M&M.
M&M?
Massage and manicure.
A little later on, while shopping around, Sonia took an interest in Mindy's watch. A watch she designed herself for her father's factory, which had to be opened because Robotnik was bleeding the business dry with his high taxes. Either way, Mindy ends up giving her watch away as a gift to Sonia. After staying the night and waking up from a terrible dream, Sonia makes a discovery about the watches, that they were actually spy surveillance cameras.
I have no idea how much information he got back to those RIA bozos. One thing for sure, They know I'm here. You better get here fast.
After making up with the team and breaking into the watch factory, they are soon confronted by Mindy and her father.
The alarm went off at the house. We thought someone was breaking into the factory.
Sonia fills Mindy in on the truth about the watches, that they were actually spy surveillance cameras working for Robotnik.
No, Daddy, wait. What is that?
If I said no to Robotnik, he'd take everything away. And I couldn't let him do that to my little girl.
Like every episode of Sonic Underground, there's a song. Mindy is the only other character in this series to co-sing with the Sonic Underground. After expressing her feelings to her father through song, she soon has a revelation.
Oh, Daddy, I don't need shopping and facials and manicures. So what should I wear, my pink camouflage?
Okay, kinda sorta. Even though she sung the song Money Can't Buy, Mindy had an issue giving things up, and not fully comprehending the situation she was in.
Which do you think will look better in the forest, blue or red?
Mr. LaTour going back on his word to Robotnik put him and Mindy at jeopardy of being thrown in prison, and needed to escape the estate immediately because Sleet and Dingo were on their way to capture them.
Freeze, LaTour!
Not being willing to sacrifice anything took important time away from escaping.
No, don't go. I rolled out your carpet for you.
This mistake leads to Sleet and Dingo succeeding and capturing them. And despite Mr. LaTour's best efforts to get his daughter to safety, she is unable to escape Sleet. However, with some quick thinking from Sonic, Mindy and her father are able to escape the clutches of Sleet and Dingo. And for a little payback, Mindy even joined in.
Yes! To freedom!
To prison! Because the trouble is not over yet! Agent N of the Robotnik Intelligence Agency returns, and succeeds in not only capturing the LaTours, but Manic and Sonia as well. Once on board the vessel, Agent N was prepared to roboticize everyone, starting with Sonia.
Ms. LaTour, you're about to become famous and roboticized.
Sonic comes to the rescue again just in time. With an army of watches, him, Manic, and Sonia reprogrammed, and proceeds to disassemble Agent N and the other robots. Once they returned home after dealing with Agent N, Mindy and her father took one last look at their home before they had to leave it behind. And even though she was upset, she learned in the end that as long as she had her father,
That's all that matters. I long for my children, but I have to wait. To act too soon could seal their fate.
They made a vow their mother will be found.
unfortunately they never did find her. Welcome to another edition of Furry Girl Profiles. This episode marks our third visit to the Sonic Underground, which was released in 1999, just 5 years after Sonic the Hedgehog or Sonic Sat AM was cancelled in 1994. The 40-episode series once again placed Sonic in an apocalyptic future, just like its predecessor. Only this time with a few big differences. A triplet sister named Sonia, a triplet brother named Manic, and alongside Sonic's new siblings was supposed to be the woman who would become the most important figure in Sonic's life and in the story. Voiced in English translation by Gail Webster, and voiced by Jocelyn Gasson in German, the mother to Sonia, Sonic, and Manic, Queen Aleena.
But just after my children were born, the evil Dr. Robotnik used his technology to turn our world into a place of terror.
In the Underground-verse, Aleena was the queen of Mobotropolis before Robotnik forced her off her throne, as well as the original leader of the Freedom Fighter Resistance. Throughout the series, all of her roles were only supporting, with her single biggest role being episode 26, titled Beginnings. While not making very many appearances in the 40-episode run, her voice narrated the start of almost every one. In July 1999, 2 months after the TV series ended, a crossover story was created, Sonic Super Special number 10, featuring the main Archie Sonic crossing over with the cast of Sonic Underground. In Zone Wars, A Tale of Two Hedgehogs, Queen Aleena made cameo appearances during the flashback. Though her dress was colored incorrectly, her backstory was very much the same as it was in the TV series. Just after the triplets were born, Robotnik took over Mobotropolis. He would place a bounty on both her and her children. At some point after taking her children into hiding, the Oracle of Delphius reaches out to her. He tells her a prophecy about a better future, where Robotnik is defeated.
Someday you will reunite with your children to become the Council of Four.
He prophesizes that they will finally reunite one day and become the Council of Four and overthrow Robotnik. However, for this better future to come true, there had to be sacrifice. For the safety of her children, she had to separate from them. She left Sonia in the care of a wealthy aristocrat named Lady Windermere. Out of the 3 triplets, Manic was stolen from his intended home and raised by a thief named Farrell. And Aleena left Sonic's basket in the care of a nameless fugitive couple. They too were ultimately captured by Robotnik and had their house burned to the ground, leaving Sonic in the care of Uncle Chuck. In the comic, Uncle Chuck is mentioned as Sonic's guardian, but his adoptive parents are not. While forming the Resistance, the trio often searched for their mother. So was Robotnik, Sleet, and Dingo, a constant reminder of why Queen Aleena went into hiding. On numerous occasions, they tried to use Sonic, Sonia, and Manic to capture her, or they would play on their desire to finally meet their mother to capture them, whichever was more convenient. But it seemed neither side fully understood what she was capable of or how far her reach was.
I love you, my little Manic. The mirror is your way out. Remember, the mirror.
As far as her children went, though they were always pursuing her, she always had an uncanny ability to be a lot closer than they thought. An assumption that could be made just by her narrating the story and her telling us about their activities. Always working from the shadows, always being careful not to unveil herself to them. Always mysterious, yet never 100% silent. When she needed to communicate with them, she always had a way to relay a message. There were also times she was never very far behind when her children were facing serious danger, and has been their rescuer on numerous occasions, such as when Manic was trapped in the roboticizer.
Yes, indeed it is.
But Queen Aleena could be just as intelligent as she was crafty, something Robotnik seemingly underestimated about her. As seen in episode Jewel in the Crown, Robotnik receives a picture from a merchant that he has and is selling the crown jewel of Queen Aleena. Robotnik wanted this jewel because he believed in the legend that if it was separated from Aleena, it would act as a beacon that would lead to her. So he sent Sleet and Dingo out to meet the merchant, where they indeed find the crown jewel of Mobius. But if anything sounds off about this situation, it's because it is. The jewel was fake and the merchant was working with Queen Aleena to lead Robotnik into a trap. But the trio knew about the jewel too and threw a wrench into the plan. Unfortunately, they wrestled it away from Sleet and Dingo, who were supposed to have stolen it, and uses it to try to track down their mother, which leads them into a carnivorous cave, which threatened to trap them forever if they did not escape quickly. When they go back to the merchant's shop, he is long gone. They only figure out the truth when they see a picture of their mother, but they didn't know about the trap. All they could do was press on.
Freedom is a long road, full of unexpected twists and turns, but we must keep going. Don't lose hope. Someday we'll be reunited.
Thank you all for tuning in to Furry Girl Profiles Queen Aleena. If you liked today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. My name is Jawbreaker and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema. On this episode, we make yet another triumphant return to 1999's Sonic Underground, the somewhat short-lived 40-episode TV series that gave Sonic a triplet brother and sister. As the Hedgehog triplets journeyed around seeking to reunite with their mother, they were also in charge of forming the Freedom Fighters, otherwise known as the Resistance, an organization of rebels opposing Robotnik spread throughout Mobius. The fight continued in episode 34 of Sonia's Choice. With Sonic, Sonia, and Manic kept busy elsewhere running for their lives, Robotnik would travel to the town of Anais, where he planned to use its museum to set a trap for them. Later on, another Resistance fighter by the name of Trevor caught up to the trio and introduced him to a fox by the name of Renee. Her voice actress was none other than Tabitha St. Germain. Renee was a one-time character who was leader of the Resistance in Anais.
This is one of the 4 royal hedgehog goblets that have been in your family for centuries. Robotnik's about to auction them off.
After informing the Hedgehog siblings about Robotnik's plans to sell off their family heirlooms, she travels back to the town with the rest of the group and informs them that their property is locked up tightly in Robotnik's museum. As they made plans to steal them back, they were unaware of the full extent Robotnik was counting on it. In fact, this was nothing more than a setup to capture the hedgehogs. After sneaking into the museum and learning of Robotnik's security system up close, Renee figured the siblings would want to give up on the operation. Instead, they decided to press onward as she stood outside the museum communicating with them. After hacking the security system, getting their stolen goods back and escaping unharmed, the trio soon meets back up with Renee.
Resistance report units are sealing the city.
Execute backup plan.
When the town gets put on lockdown, the group agrees to split up in order to throw Robotnik off their trail. But there was more to his trap than just high-tech security. The floor was laced with mega muck, and the heroes were tracking it all over town. Sonia later on manages to meet up with Renee again and travel by water. Along the way, they are spotted and attacked by SWAT bots and end up having to abandon ship. The two managed to get back to dry land safely and escape capture, but Sonic and Manic weren't so lucky. Renee and Sonia would end up searching every hideout in town for the two, with no success, until Robotnik put out a bulletin to speak to Sonia directly.
Tonight at 9, I will roboticize them. It appears that you have a choice to make, Princess Sonia.
Despite Robotnik forcing Sonia to choose between her brothers, Renee was a skilled computer hacker. If the computer system crashed, Sonia was able to free Sonic from the roboticizer, but nobody was counting on a backup generator. By the time Renee could get to Manic, it was already too late, and she is spotted. With Renee now at the mercy of a SWAT bot, now there was truly nothing that would stop Manic from being roboticized, until a special guest rolled in and not only destroyed the roboticizer, but terminated the SWAT bot. That special guest was none other than Queen Aleena herself. With the royal goblet secured and Sonic and Manic out of harm's way, there was only one thing left to do, and that was to run.
Hey Renee, ever travel at Sonic speed?
No.
Hang on!
Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Furry Girl Profiles. If you liked today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. My name is Jawbreaker, and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.